Hello, this is Paul Connett. About 18 years ago, we started a battle against a trash municipal waste incinerator here in St. Lawrence County. I had little idea at the time that it was going to take us 5.5 years to stop that incinerator, and that this whole battle would blossom out into going to 49 states in the United States and 47 other countries. 17 years ago, with my colleague Roger Bailey, I began to make a series of videotapes, first of all depicting the dangers of incineration and later landfills, but also some of the successful alternatives. The typical attitude of politicians is usually you either burn it or you bury it. If you don't want incinerators, you get landfills. You don't want landfills, you get incinerators. And we argued 18 years ago, and we're still arguing today, that there is a third way, which is sometimes called recycling. Actually, it's much more than recycling. It's separation at source, it's reuse and repair of objects, it's recycling of materials back to industry, it's nature's recycling, composting, which is actually the most important of all the things that we do, because it's precisely the organic waste which causes so many problems in landfills. And then it's toxic removal, and then it's a screening of the residuals before we finally put what we hope is a non-toxic material into a landfill and stabilized organic material into a landfill. That's a bit of a mouthful. And so today people are using a different word. They're using the concept of zero waste. Zero waste recognizes that waste is a human invention. Nature doesn't make any waste, and if we were really clever, we'd be much more like nature. Now, of course, that's quite contrary to many of the people, many of the powerful people in companies and in local jurisdictions who make the decisions on this issue. For them, the question is, how do you get rid of waste? Zero waste says no. Our job is not to get rid of waste. Our job is not to make it. How do you design waste out of the system? Well, there's a lot to do with recycling, reusing and composting, but that's not enough, because all of that is at the back end. If we're really going to get to zero, we've got to get to the front end of the problem. We've got to get to industry. We've got to demand from industry packaging which they take back, reusable packaging. We've got to demand from them that they take back objects and take back toxics. In this way, they will design the objects without toxics or less toxics, because that will save them money. In a nutshell, we want extended producer responsibility. Now, whilst I've been talking about this and other people have been talking about this, we have been shooting videotapes of successful models. I'm one of those people that doesn't believe we're going to get zero waste overnight. It's going to take 15, 20 years. We can get a lot from communities in maybe 5 years, and Nova Scotia has shown that. But in terms of the overall getting very close to zero, this is going to take quite a bit of time, and not everybody is going to move as fast as others. So what I'm hoping we can do with these videotapes is to capture model solutions, capture what I call little pieces of zero. Now, these little pieces of zero might be what individuals are doing, they might be what companies are doing, they might be what communities are doing. But the idea is that you add up all these pieces of zero together, you've got a model for zero waste. Now, we're going to make a lot of these tapes. This first collection, I'm focusing on creativity and leadership. We need good leadership in industry, we need good leadership locally, we need good leadership amongst citizens and voluntary organizations. And we particularly want creativity. For me, landfilling, dumping all your discarded materials into a landfill, is really boring. And incineration, where you burn everything, is really boring. And it's really boring to spend millions of dollars trying to perfect a bad idea. Our task in the 21st century is not to destroy materials, but to recover them and make sure that the materials and objects that we use go on for as long as possible so that we can share them with future generations. And this is where creativity comes in. And we're going to spotlight in this videotape little pieces of zero, little pieces of action from individuals in advertising, individuals in the waste industry or the recycling industry, individuals in business, all kinds of examples of creativity. Even some artists are doing some remarkable things with discarded materials. Let's go and have a look at some of them.